Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, first of all. How impressed were you, and what impressed you most about the way Dak Prescott and company were able to bounce back from that loss to the Giants last week?
You know, it looked like there was a small chance that everything could unravel for the Cowboys after that loss to the Giants, that maybe Dak Prescott was hitting the rookie wall and maybe they just didn't have enough to sustain. And when we saw the way they played against the Bucs, it shot all of that down, and they said, look, whatever was working all year wrong is going to keep working because this kid is special. And I think it just kind of quashed all those fears that Dak Prescott is going to hit that rookie wall. And then I think that he is a totally legitimate candidate to lead this team far into the playoffs.
Why were the Bucs unable to stop David Irving?
That's a great question. There was a lot that impressed me about the Bucs. I think that their defense was impressive, but that guy, he gave them trouble all night.
Yeah, it's just amazing how he was able to. I think he had 9 different hits on Jameis Winston, and we saw him where he deflected his arm and caused an interception. I mean, the guy was fantastic last night. Meanwhile, as far as Jameis Winston is concerned, what did that performance tell you about Winston and the Buccaneers and where they are right now?
Tells me that they're so close. I just love the way Jameis Winston plays. It's a guy that I think Earl Thomas tweeted, like, he loves football and he loves playing, and he gets all the guys around him excited, and it's so fun to watch. And I think the maturation of Jameis Winston is not a storyline to be ignored this year. I think that the job Dirk Cutter has done is amazing, and the defense finally showed up. So this is a team that's super close to contending. I think they're a couple pieces away. They were dangerous to their offense when they struck late, but they're not quite as dangerous as some of the other teams that we see as heavy contenders.
You know, just real quick, Emily, it's just, as far as Jameis Winston, I mean, his talent is there. We all know it. We saw it back at Florida State, for example. But it seems like he, more than anybody else, prevents him from taking that next step. There are some things that obviously we know about at Florida State, but like last night, the headbutt, that was just ridiculous in that situation. If he can just get out of his own way sometimes, maybe he and the team can do a little bit better. And you know, they were doing all right, obviously, going into that game as well.
Yeah, and I mean, just to translate a little on the field, there's always those 1 or 2 careless throws that he makes that you just kind of shake your head and say, what are you thinking? And then some of the off-the-field antics, too. But, again, it's kind of what you give and take when you have such a young guy. And I just look at who he's throwing to. I mean, he has Mike Evans, who is a stud wide receiver, #1 guy. They have such chemistry. But the rest of his targets, I mean, who's Humphreys and who is Cameron Braid? And who are these guys that he's finding? So that, to me, is impressive.
Emily, by the way, Ian Rappaport is just tweeting that Ezekiel Elliott will not be fined for jumping into the Salvation Army medal. So that'll be really interesting.
Well.
What did you think about that celebration versus maybe, let's say, like the Odell Beckham Jr. proposing to the kicking net?
Yeah, no, slightly different. Maybe it's just a little in the holiday spirit. And I love the way Salvation Army just totally pivoted there and said, we're going to capitalize on this. And they tweeted out, here's Zeke Elliott donating. You can donate.